Welcome everyone to Anime Aftershows, the show where we do high quality aftershows of your favorite animes. Today we are covering Digimon Adventure 2020 Episode 9. I am your host now here, and join with me today is my co-host Adam from Azen Zone. How are you doing, man?
Doing good.
And in spirit, we have Infinite Drills. He's not quite here, you know. He, we currently have a search and rescue team, so our search and rescue mon, if you will. I don't know if those rescue mons in the Digimon universe, but if
As long as you keep paying your taxes, I'm sure they'll be able to do something.
yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, maybe Mimi's little guys can help. I don't know if those rescue mons. I know there's like train mons and stuff like that. But anyways, how you doing, man? Good week?
Doing good.
Good?
Yeah.
So, don't know if you guys noticed, we didn't do an episode last week because, I messed up. So I wanted us to briefly talk about last week's episode, and then we can get into this week's. So, what did you think of last week's episode?
I thought it was a really good episode.
Yeah.
Now that we finally are over all of the character introductions for now, there's at least a couple more, but now that we've gotten the major character introductions out, we finally get the plot moving, and it was good. It was good stuff. It actually, it was a great kind of. I just love how it all felt that the whole episode is basically just one big battle scene, like almost a Battle of Normandy kind of scenario.
Mm-hmm. How did you feel about Yamato? Because we did get a lot more of Yamato compared to what we have seen. Are you liking this incarnation of him?
So far, yes. Am I as sold as I like? All right, just for a minute, if I could speak from nostalgia, am I as sold on him as much as I was back in the '90s, back with the original show? Not quite as much. I think he's kind of still just the rival character in this series, but just the character as a character in his own right in just this show, he's okay.
I mean, I think he kind of feels like his counterpart. He's not quite at that level, but you can't like compare this Matt to or this Yamato to the Yamato we know, because that Yamato,
Yeah, I know.
Yamato
It's just that
had like
it's just that
seasons to grow. This one we've only got like 3 episodes of him, right?
yeah, it's just that right now he's still. It's just that even in the original series, he wasn't just the rival character. The rival character thing actually, as I recall, came a little bit later with him and Tai. This one, it feels like he is mostly just still Tai's rival and all that.
I would, if you will allow me, I would like to disagree. For me, I think he also comes off with that like, I don't know if like insecure is right, but like that awkwardness, like doesn't quite know how to communicate with people. Probably because of his backstory. If we're going with the same backstory that the original had.
Yeah.
So
It's just that also his anger in the original series was one of his defining traits, like his frustrations about protecting someone and then certain someone, and without that certain someone, he feels a little bit incomplete right now.
yes, so hopefully we can get to that. So,
But yeah, just that's a little nitpick, but otherwise the episode was great. It just so much action, just so much stuff going on. Yeah.
yeah. So, what did I like or want to mention that? So, I find it like hilarious when like Joe. Actually, like Joe had some really good moments on episode 8
Hmm.
One was when he got seasick. I find that a little funny, and also I like the fact we kind of mentioned it in some of our previous that like Joe is the oldest, so he tends to want to be the leader, even though he's not the leader.
Hmm.
There was even I think it was either episode 8 or episode 9. I think it was episode 8. Where it was like I'm the leader, and then other characters are like since when? And I, it was so hilarious when he was trying to surrender with the flag.
And I think that was actually Mimi's tissue, and
Oh
and but
no, they even said that was Sora's, not Mimi's.
all right, yeah, yeah.
That
But
was
Mimi still claimed it as
yeah,
hers. I think
but
that's that just adds an extra layer of hilarity.
yeah, that like flag scene was so hilarious, and it was so like in Joe's character. At
Hmm.
least at this point of the story, obviously he's going to develop and stuff, but like, I don't know. Did you find that scene hilarious?
Yep, good stuff.
Yeah.
It
So
matches well with his character and actually takes advantage of it.
well, that's another thing I want to. How are you feeling about this version of Sora? Because I was like watching episode 8. I'm like really liking this version of Sora. She seems a lot more. I don't know if outgoing is the right word or spontaneous. She's just kind of more like out there, if that makes sense. As we addressed in one of the earlier episodes, she just jumped into the digital world pretty much.
Didn't mind the dinosaurs running around and just like brought out her pocket knife and just like this big smile on her face with her knife in hand.
Yeah. So
That that haunts my nightmare still yet.
it's okay.
Sora and her knife.
So how you liking this version of Sword? Does she feel like I don't remember Sora being this like crazy and kind of outgoing? Do you?
No, she was kind of the level head of the team, like um, kind of the team mom, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Here she's kind of the team crazy aunt, I would call her.
and I don't have a problem with that. Do you? Do you like this version of Sora?
uh, I need to see more of her to get really sold on her. I don't really remember being that sold on the original either until much later into the series.
Yeah.
So, unlike with Matt, I'm not that upset that she's hasn't fully developed yet.
So during the episode 8, there was a moment I was super concerned. So, did you remember the part when goddamn, I can't. Oh my god, Gururumon started to glow.
Yeah.
I was so afraid that a certain Digimon would show up. Oh, like he started glowing. I was like, oh god, what does that mean? He's either gonna like digivolve to, ultimate or take a shot mon, and luckily that didn't happen. But that kind of gave me a panic attack. So maybe I overreacted there. But did
Yeah, I
you?
might have to say that for next week. More on that when we get to the next episode.
I really hope they don't like rush things, man. But but yeah,
No,
I was like worried about that. Did you have that kind of reaction?
not totally. I don't think they'll bring back they'll bring back who just yet. But at the same time, but I will say if they bring in ultimates this early, it's going to be feeling a little bit rushed. Like
Yeah,
like
that's kind of been my fear these last 2 episodes. It feels like they're hinting towards that, and I hope not. But
like for this series, it seems like I think we could say that the crescent tags probably aren't going to be a thing.
I really like the crescent tags.
Well, it doesn't seem like they're going to be here. from all of our sources. So
Yeah.
not really spoiling anything if it's not going to be in the show like it was for the original.
Yeah. And even if it's in, I feel like it's going to be under a different context.
Yeah.
You know, so we shall see. You know.
Yeah.
But one more thing I want to add.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 8, still no Izumi.
Yeah. Well, get to the next episode and we'll talk.
Yeah. I know, but
more.
Goddamn, Izumi, you should have upgraded your travel plan, man. You know, this is why you don't go with the cheap airlines.
Well, sometimes that's the only thing you can get. Like sometimes you have to sacrifice that cup holder.
Not the cup holder, man. I mean, I actually don't like drink on the airplane. Though, granted, I've only been on the plane a couple of times, but you know, I typically don't drink. You know.
Fun fact. Sometimes they charge you for the barf bags if you on the cheaper planes.
They charge you for the what?
Barf bags.
Really?
Not kidding. That's a thing. Like in order to dispose of it, they charge you.
They always try to charge you for everything. So.
Well, that's what you get for going with the cheaper sometimes.
Yeah.
No cup holders and no cup holders, and they charge you for your barf.
I mean, if they're charging you for your barf, is it really cheaper at that point?
Depends on how good your stomach is.
Yeah, I guess. I'm actually surprised I have never like barfed on an airplane, knowing how like car sick I get. But yeah, I still know using me. So yeah, those are my general thoughts. I'm just double checking to. One thing I forgot. I really like that scene when like Matt's looking at all the other kids, and he's kind of like moved and touched.
That was nice.
But I don't feel like he really bonded with the other kids besides Ty.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a nice scene, but it would have been more impactful if he's bonded with them a bit more.
Yeah, the thing about Matt is that Yamato is that he always tends to bond with people because he argues with them and gets in more fights with them sometimes. So this isn't the temperamental Yamato we remember from the original series. This is a kind of more cool guy who's just like distant, and yet how do you expect him to really connect with everyone else if he's not really buying heads with them like Ty or something?
Yeah. So. I guess that would have been my like main complaint. Just I wish we've maybe gotten a couple more interactions with like Matt and the other kids. So, but yeah, that's our like general thoughts of episode 8. So, I guess we should like move on to episode 9. Let's start with our pros. What did you like?
Greymon versus Ogremon, straightforward.
Oh
Greymon versus
my god! Can we talk about? Oh, that scene and it was. Sorry.
It was the best fight of this season so far because it wasn't just a bunch of projectile firing like Greymon shooting his Nova Blast all the time or Ogremon just firing his fist beam all the time. No, this is just straightforward fist to fist, hand to hand, just like a big dinosaur and a big ogre just wailing at each other.
And they even like addressed that like after a while they were just like fighting for fun.
Yeah.
And I really like that. But continue.
They essentially became pro wrestlers, I'd say. Like it was all fake. Like it was like they were fighting a little, but it was also kind of fake because they weren't really trying to hurt each other. So yeah, but yet for Ogremon himself was just such a great character. Like the original Ogremon, I still really like, but this one is a little bit more of a really condensed version of that one and his character arc. I don't mind that. Since he probably wants to interact with with a certain rival from the original series. But so yeah, even if it was a lot shorter, I did like the arc this Ogremon went through. Just him trying to him just being so dedicated to clearly not being the sharpest tool in the shed, and just wanted to do it for his honor and all that. But such a also such a lovable character because he went all out with Greymon, and then when the big twist happened in this episode, he also didn't like being interrupted, and just it was just so powerful and just such a great moment and great way to close out the episode. Other things, well, I'll let you have the other major good point because I know you want to talk about it. Yeah, just like a really good, just another episode where it's nothing but fights. So thankfully things are moving along nicely, and that's all oh, and Devamon was just awesome. I don't know who they got for his voice actor, but he just sounds good. I know the original voice actor Devamon sadly passed away, but he was just had such a great presence, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of this arc. Just see more of Devamon and hopefully see how this version holds up against the original. So go ahead.
Yeah. So first off, this episode. Like I think we had a recap. I can't 100% remember, but something that we had this episode, we have had in other episodes, is they had the little thing at the beginning showing some
basically the Digimon data sheet.
Yeah, so it's cool to see those again. So
yeah, that's a little bit fun for those who want to learn more about the characters.
Yeah,
probably should have had that a little bit closer to the beginning of this series.
Yeah, but I feel like this show is kind of learning as it goes.
Kind of.
So even though they should kind of know, should be experienced, but anyways, like I said, I love. Oh my god, that fight between Agumon and Ogremon, so good, and I like how they kind of had a mutual respect with each other, which I thought was pretty cool. But this was the first time that we really felt the weight of a fight.
Yeah, without even knowing that I made words, because Ogremon can barely speak 2 sentences.
Yeah, but it was a very engaging fight. I just loved every minute of it. While the Greymon and Ogremon fight isn't the only fight in the episode, I still enjoy it. And if it was the only fight of the episode, I would have still been okay with it, because it was that good of a fight.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Just a little Ogremon. Just enjoyable to watch. Just like we say, he's kind of an idiot, but he's just enjoyable, and how he's fueled with rage against Greymon. It's just beautiful and enjoyable to watch. But I think the stakes are starting to slowly rise. This felt like a very tense fight, especially with the other Digimon. They end up fighting and stuff. I was semi worried how they were gonna get out of it. Probably was kind of thinking they gonna get ultimate already.
No, that's next week. It's in the title, so can't really spoil it at this point.
Oh, is it really? I didn't.
I think so. Either that, or just the preview completely gives it away, anyways.
Did I watch the preview? I can't remember now. But Anyways, so our boy Izumi finally shows up.
Yep, that's what I thought you were going to talk about.
Goddamn Izumi, upgrade your plan or something. Like, seriously, how many episodes did it take for him to get here? It took at least like 3 or 4, right?
Yeah, at least.
Like, oh my god, like, I don't know. Should we be leaning on that? I don't think so. I think that's a ridiculous amount for Izumi to not be. You know, it would have been different if he was actually doing stuff, but not really.
He was just kind of giving a lot of exposition and just saying, "Oh yeah, Tokyo's kind of in danger and we're losing power."
I mean, couldn't he just do that and still be in the group at the same time, or no?
Really, if we wanted to learn how much in trouble Tokyo was, they could have just have cut back to it, and that would be just as effective. But not really need Izumi to keep telling us that, oh yeah, things are bad, things are bad. I'm like, yeah, I can see things are bad. Even the news report is doing your job for you. You don't need to keep saying it.
Yeah, that felt like all he's really done. But I really did like his like entrance scene with
Mm-hmm.
Kabuterimon and stuff, and he's finally got introduced with all the other characters. Uh, so that was uh pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah. This was like a pretty good episode.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
And I think, and you would probably agree with me. The thing that like sells, um, this is the fight between Greymon and Ogremon, and I really did like how Ogremon was like helping like our like heroes at the end in kind of a mutual respect kind of way, but also he's probably pissed off at getting like replaced.
For the much bigger, stronger dude.
But I think it's a combination of the two factors: game replaced, and he does probably now have like a mutual respect for Greymon. So
Yeah.
I really like that. So yeah, I do think these episodes are getting better. Are
Yeah.
they gonna reach the height that the original has? I don't know.
Like, personally, I still do prefer the original Ogremmon's arc from the original series, and I think this Ogremon might be done, but otherwise, I still do like this in its own right.
Yeah, like it's just an enjoyable Ogremon. So
Yeah.
I'm
So I won't look at him. I'll try not to look at him as the Ogremon we do from the original series.
He's his own character. I'm like curious how much longer they're gonna keep him around.
Or if he just died in this episode, it's hard to tell.
Well, he didn't die. We see he's still walking. So I feel like the next week's going to probably pick up with Ogremon fighting the other Digimon.
Well, I think we could just say it's Melteranamon.
Well, I couldn't remember the name, so.
Okay, it's Melteranamon,
I didn't want to make myself sound like an idiot, so that's why I was saying that.
Yeah, Melteranamon, and he's just like, and at this, and they well, I'll talk about more later, but yeah, it's clear that he's not going to win.
Yeah, but maybe the Digistin can save him in time.
We'll see.
So, but oh yeah, good episode. So, was there things you didn't like?
All right, well, a little bit of a middle ground here. Melteranamon himself was really cool. Was just really cool in general. Just like this big, really threatening guy who just like steps on Ogremon. I found that hilarious, by the way. He just like stepped on Ogremon.
Oh yeah,
that was.
I
mean, I don't know. I should be laughing because I really was liking Ogremon, but then he just like steps on him, and then all right, that's kind of tragic. And then one scene later, he lifts up his foot and just we see a flattened Ogremon. Like, okay, now it's hilarious, great.
That was hilarious, and I think it was a great way to show how much of a threat like Melchiramon is. Because
Yeah,
Ogremon himself was a bit of a threat. So the fact that like you got this like even more powerful Digimon that can just like flatten Ogremon in like a hilarious fashion, I think is cool. So
but yeah, as we also said, they might be rushing things a little because now we're not even into the double digits yet, and we're already introducing the ultimates. That's just a little concern
did
more
I
than
like
a big
space?
negative.
Did I space out? I didn't like catch the ultimate stuff.
Yes, Meltaralma is the ultimate level.
Okay. You meant that. Okay, never mind. Okay. Sorry, I misunderstood. Understood
But yeah, even in the original series, I don't think they actually found ultimates until at least the Edamon saga.
What was the first ultimate? I can't remember.
Edamon himself,
Yeah.
like Edamon himself, and Piximon was also an ultimate.
I mean, it could work if we get like Digimon that are stronger than the Mega level.
Yeah, maybe. It's not a big negative just yet, but it is a little concern.
Yeah.
As we also said that, and yeah, as we also said, there's the Greymon glowed a little bit and was hinting at the arrival of that other character soon. Not that one, but somebody else.
Wait, I say that again.
Greymon did glow. I think did glow a little in this episode, and next week they're gonna go with it. I think.
Ah. Ah.
I mean, Meltaranimon is threatening and all, but he's also just a scrub yet, so it's not being. So
Yeah,
they're
and
not using it.
I feel
They're
like
not using it on a big boss yet.
I feel like they could like with their numbers outpower him.
Maybe that would actually be a little bit more interesting than just having Greymon do all the work, Ty and Greymon do all the work.
Yeah.
Unless they're thinking of having everyone go Mega in this for this series.
Which I, which if they're trying to do, I guess I'm okay with that, because, uh, in the original, not all of them got mega.
Only two,
Yeah,
only two, and then in Try they went Mega,
yeah, and
and Try the Megas were handled terribly.
only like one of them I think was handled good, but
The Megas aside from those the two main ones have been handled poorly for the original Adventure cast, I'd say.
yeah.
So hopefully, if they're going to do it for this series, I'd be all for it as long as they do it well. But yeah, but first we have to now deal with the ultimates, and we'll see how if it's satisfying or not next week. But kind of wish they would save it for like even a big Devamon would be good. Not just one of his grunts.
Yeah, or maybe just use it temporary, and it takes them a while to be able to go ultimate at will, kind of thing.
We'll see how they handle it for this episode. But just speaking on this episode itself, it was really good. Negatives, yeah, a little bit of that animation could have been better, but they're clearly saved for next week. And even without even if the animation wasn't great, the fight, just the slobber knocker between Ogremon and Greymon made up for it. So, yeah, I actually don't have a lot of actual negatives for this episode in of itself. So That's all I can really say.
Yeah, I really don't have any like. I guess like, because it was felt like it was mostly focused on like Ty and Greymon, and if I wish we've gotten a bit more from the other characters. If I had to like nitpick something,
But Ogremon was definitely more focused on
yeah,
the guys who broke his
yeah,
horn.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it makes sense, but like I really like enjoyed the like episode.
mhm.
Uh, So I'm trying to think. Maybe improve the pacing a tad bit here and there, but I feel like that has more to do of what this. It's more of a concern of like what they're setting up in the future that like concerns me, especially with the talks of the Ultimates and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So it's more, but yeah, I enjoy this episode. I really don't have anything negative to say. But yeah, let's just move on to I guess general. If anyone has any questions in chat, ask questions. So now that we're like 9 episodes in, are you feeling better about the series?
Yeah, a little bit better after a rough start, to say the least.
Yeah. So do you think in the end it's all gonna turn out right and we won't have to complain as much anymore?
Seems like it. At least it'll be a good above average. It might be shaping out to at least be a good above average Digimon series, which I would certainly take over some of the previous stuff we've gotten.
Yeah. So do you think we're at the point where we can like recommend this show to people who've never seen Digimon, or no?
It's getting there.
Okay.
Maybe if after episode 13 we can check again. Just like 13 is a good stop is a good like measuring point for any series, I'd say.
Yeah. Because I've said before, I really want to recommend this to like friends, but I don't really recommend to a Digimon fan, and even then, I've been kind of like hesitant.
Hmm.
Though I do think like if you're a Digimon fan, you probably would like these like past 2 episodes.
Yep.
So
Because they actually felt like unique episodes in themselves and not just like kind of rehashes of previous stuff.
how long do you think it's gonna take for them to wrap up the Devimon arc?
Depends. Like I almost get the feeling that they're going to shoot for like one one core or season of episodes, which is like 13 each for at least like a few for at least a big boss. Like I'm not sure if they'll be able to do it with Devmon. Maybe he'll actually be one of the longer running villains. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Almost feels like he might do a lot more than the original Devmon.
Because in the original, that Devilmon, the Devilmon arc wasn't too long, if I remember.
Yeah, it was only I think 13 or 15 episodes, just because that's originally where they wanted to end the series.
Oh yeah, and then then it kind of hit off, and they
Yeah, and they expanded. They had him fight a monkey next, and then an actual villain after that.
Hey, I still really like Etamon. Okay,
Sure.
I can have my trash opinion.
But yeah, they they yeah the next year. Yeah, they had them fight Amon, then Myodismon, and I don't remember the exact splits for all of those arcs, but yeah, I think they were trying to go for, since there are 4 major arcs, so I think they tried to like average it out to like 13 episodes each.
Yeah.
So if Devilmon is going to be like, if they're going for a year-round thing, maybe Devilmon will be like 13 episodes. The next guy will be 13. The next guy will be 13, and the next guy will be 13.
Do you think we're gonna get some original main villains?
That'd be interest. That'd be interesting. I think they still trying to play it up. I think they might still be trying to play up a little bit of nostalgia. So I get the feeling we're definitely at least going to see my old spawn.
Yeah. Do you think we're gonna get the Dark Masters?
It's hard to say. They might actually change it up. I would personal prediction is that they might change it up and maybe go with like maybe the seven deadly sins, the seven demon lords.
Ah.
Since the holy angels, since this season is more focused on the holy angels, their opposite numbers would be the seven demon lords, I believe. You ever hear of them?
Uh, I think I vaguely remember. I need kind of a refresher.
They're the guys who represent the seven deadly sins.
Yeah.
So like if you ever read Dante's Inferno, they're the seven demon lords.
Have we gotten them in Digimon before?
Yes, in other media like Digimon. I think say Digimon, not Sabers. Cross Wars. Cross Wars was their date was I think their animated debut.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I ever like. I can't remember how far I got in Crossroads. I never finished it, so.
Yeah, the demon lords are basically like Beelzemon is one of them since he represents the sin of gluttony. If you read, it's all stuff from Dante's Inferno. If you ever read that,
I've heard of Dante's Inferno. I've never like read it or even like played the game they made based on it.
that's something else entirely. But the seven demon lords represent the seven deadly sins is basically it.
So you mentioned Beelzemon. I've been thinking. Do you think they're going to add like Digimon that were added in later seasons than Digimon
That's very
Adventure
possible.
1?
Well, they've already introduced like new ones like Sound of Birdabon. That's a new one that I don't think was ever in the original series.
Well, I'm not like talking about like new ones for this reboot. I'm talking about because you know
They already kind of have with Rubimon and Seraphimon. The Holy Angels are kind of new Digimon from different series.
Okay.
Like Rubimon, you might remember him as the big bad from the 02 movie.
And wasn't he also the big bad in Frontier?
Yeah, for the first half.
Yeah.
Like Rubimon is the guy the big bunny who goes from good and evil all the time.
Bunny.
White bunny, black bunny, white bunny, black bunny. He can never decide which one he wants to be.
I mostly know him as the Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Because of Frontier, So I keep forgetting to mention this, and I'll be careful how I word it because it could potentially be spoiler-ish, I guess. So several months ago, I heard like this semi-crazy fanfare. I doubt it's true. I don't. So the theory is that taking the reboot name, like literally reboot, in terms of without completely spoiling, in terms of try, if you know what I mean.
Because Try was so bad that they want to do it again.
No. I'm trying to be careful how. You know how in Digimon Try that they talk about rebooting.
Oh, right.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I know what the plot point you're talking about.
Yeah. So, a theory I heard is that the Digimon reboot is like a timeline if the reboot happened.
That makes sense.
Which it would be interesting if that's like actually true. Like I think of like Digimon this like reboot would be a perfect way to really create like a good like shared universe but I think they've kind of missed the ball on that
Mm.
because the reboot, it's like rough as it is. So I don't know if they could actually properly launch a shared universe. I think it'd be cool, but because
We'll see.
Digimon has always like had this potential to have a shared universe, but they really haven't done anything. But what do you think about that theory? Do you think it's crazy? Do you think it's true?
It's not out of the realm of possibility, and uh, they have. And they could do, and they have been trying. I know they've been trying to do it for the longest time, like with Ryo and Digimon Tamers and all that. And yeah,
Yeah, the the
it
the problem with that connection is like canon. Unless you played the like side spin-off game thing, you wouldn't know it. So,
you wouldn't know. Well, Ryo just comes up completely out of nowhere for Tamers too. So
but
yeah,
I'm talking about the reason he exists in Adventure 2 and Tamers. You would only know it if you played one of the really like old Digimon games.
and you also see him a little bit in 02.
Yeah.
But yeah, was it'd be interesting, and I guess the biggest problem would just be like if they can really do it with Try all that well.
Yeah.
Try is a bit of a is all over the place. It is all over the place, so it's hard to try and make a shared universe with that series.
Yeah. Like it would be interesting if like the reboot like end up being the like original like counterparts.
That'd be interesting. And then just meet the out of nowhere character like Reiko or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, like V Tamers, which I briefly talked about, which is what like Digimon Adventure was like based on. There's like an issue of V Tamers where they meet their like anime counterparts. So,
Hmm.
you know, though to be fair, you can kind of get away with that ridiculous stuff in comics. In like an
Mm-hmm.
anime form, it can be a lot harder.
Yeah. Like at least they got most of like at least for the Digimon, they've kept the voice actors consistent. So we'll see how it works out if they were to meet their teenage selves with different voices and
I
all the logistics of that.
I guess I just want them to like set with Digimon Tamers reboot or something with Tamers, man.
That'd be nice.
But we all had to have our dreams. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't get why like Tamers uh didn't get like a movie like a try treatment movie though. Maybe it was for the best, you know.
Because they really don't care about because apparently Toy thinks that the original Adventures the only thing that sells. Hence why they kind of just like did nothing with the 02 team for Try.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, why even? But I maybe the final evolution movie or fix things. I haven't seen that. I think it comes on the digital in like September. So
Maybe, but right now I'm not sure if they. It just seems like the 02 team is just there, just from what I've seen of it.
yeah,
I mean, it's better than I think it's better treatment than what they got in Try, but we'll see.
yeah. But I really hope after this reboot we're done with Digimon Adventure. Like I like Digimon
Yeah,
Adventure, but I want something new. I don't have a problem with them like going back to older Digimon shows. There's nothing wrong with that, but you can't just keep going to
milking and milking and milking and milking the same cow.
Though I also get because Digimon the last recent seasons haven't been the best and stuff, so the taking I guess low risks, the afraid to try new stuff. So
Kind of like Disney.
but I mean, there's other good and popular seasons you can reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Tamers.
Yeah.
and I guess Tamers. Not that the other seasons are bad, but they just won that well received. I think Tamers was pretty well received when it came out.
Yeah.
So you know, though be cool to see something with like Frontier or something like that. But Tamers, I think is another like safe bet. But so let's talk about next week's episode. What are you hoping for?
Well, just from the preview, I already know the new Digimon they're going to introduce, so I just hope he doesn't get overused at this point afterwards.
Yeah, I think I totally like missed that in the preview. I like spaced out and stuff.
Yeah, but it's pretty much confirmed they don't need the tags and crests just without spoiling. Just like they don't need those anymore, apparently. At least for this.
Unless the tags and quests just show up out of nowhere.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
I mean, it would surprise me with this show. So
that character, yeah, it seems like that character might come. Hopefully, they use him sparingly and not just because if that character comes in, he's going to be really overpowered for the rest of the series, for much of the series until they get to the more ultimates.
yeah. Really, because they've been on track the last couple episodes. I really hope they don't like ruin the pacing by introducing Digimons too soon.
Well, sometimes you just have to rush these things out. Like I think they might I think Toei might be in a bit of a rush to rush all sorts of things out. Like for tomorrow, we might talk about Precure and what they're trying to rush out with that.
Oh, I haven't seen the latest preview. I'm gonna do that later tonight. Oh boy,
Okay.
I felt like I'm in for some joy now.
It's a good. Well, you'll enjoy. I'll say now, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good episode, so you enjoy it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay. And just looking up the title of next week's episode, it's the Super Evolution of Steel. So yeah, pretty much confirmed.
I think I briefly, so it looked like it like the. Oh, when I saw that, I thought it was more like. I I'm not saying like DNA digivolving, but like combining with like a different element or combining a power with someone else. I guess, you know. I didn't think of it as what you think of it as.
Nah. Well, we saw the chest of that character, so yeah, it's him.
Oh boy.
We saw that chest, so you know what that chest looks like.
Oh boy. Show, you were doing so good. You were finally doing good. I was finally proud of you. I was finally proud.
How they, to be fair, we'll see how they use him, but episode 10, and we're getting him already.
I feel like it's gonna be a pattern. Then the next episode we're probably gonna get the other. Whoa.
A bird, a wolf man, and maybe a few other things. A bird man, a bird man, a bird person, a wolf man, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, and we still haven't gotten a certain angel yet.
Mm-hmm.
And we're oh boy, I think I'm gonna have a meltdown now. Do you think? Oh, okay. Let's just say they do have that Digimon appeal. I'm still hanging on to a hope that they don't. But you know, it seems like they are. Do you think it's like game over for the show?
No, not at all. It's another problem. It's another issue that we do have to address.
At least it will make for some interesting conversation next week.
Yep.
But okay, so how do you hope they execute this Digimon? Like, is there a way to do this right then?
Eh, like if it's, I don't think there's any way of. I think they've kind of written themselves into a corner with this guy. But so the best case scenario, I would say, is just like to use him sparingly, as I said.
Okay.
Otherwise, I think they might have written themselves into a corner if they're going to, if since they brought Meltranamon, they have to. I think they do have to use him at this point.
Yeah.
That was the whole point of introducing Meltranamon.
I wouldn't say they could have also shown just to show how powerful Digimon can get, and like how the Digidestin just barely escape, and then it like kind of encourages out Digidestin to take things more serious and like get stronger and stuff like that, and eventually like later on unlock the stronger forms. They
Kind of.
could have done something like that, but yeah, we're getting.
Unless it or getting him, but again, maybe again as you say, maybe as we theorize, they might also just be trying to do this because they want to introduce all the megas, so they need the more time, I guess. But yeah, even then, it's still a little bit of a rush.
Yeah, it still feels like even if you are doing like all the megas, like you could assuming they do this arc, you could just introduce the megas during the Dark Masters. I'm actually like surprised the original actually didn't do that, because I feel like the Dark Masters arc would have been perfect to introduce the rest of the megas, but
I think there were some issues behind the scenes with the toys that they couldn't do the megas for all the other kids. So plus it did make plus to be fair, it did make the two megas that we got a little bit more special.
yeah. But so Bree has a question. Is the show getting better? I would say
It
yes,
yes.
but the next episode it looks like it might go back down. We were finally going up, and now they kind of like tripped like over a rocket.
I mean, it could still recover again, but even then, like, we'll
Uh,
see.
but can we recommend it to Bree, who's never seen Digimon?
Mm. I'm still really leaning towards just the original at this point, not this version.
Yeah, it's on Hulu,
Hmm.
so get got a Hulu account. I think it's also on Crunchyroll. I
I
can't.
think so.
I
I think
can,
like the original subtitled
yeah.
version is on.
I'm not sure if the dub version's on Crunchyroll, but
Yeah.
I know the dub version's on Hulu. I don't know about Crunchyroll. And I like hate saying that. Just go watch the original. I just because I don't want to come off as this like original like elitist, you know.
Yeah.
But like, I think to like fully grasp this show, you kind of need to watch the original.
Yeah. Okay. It's not the original isn't on Crunchyroll, but I think it is on Hulu at least.
Yeah, it's on Hulu. I know like Cross Wars and Happy Monsters is on Crunchyroll, but I don't know. Don't know if you saw Crunchyroll's announcement a couple of days ago. They are removing a lot of shows.
Yeah, mostly Sentai Filmworks and stuff.
Yeah, so you know.
Hmm. That's a pity.
But alright, please be. So any other thing actually before I even ask that, do you think we are seeing the effects of the pandemic in the production of this now? I know I could kind of keep asking this, but with how the show is going, I, I do wonder if like the pandemic's playing a part in it.
I don't know. It almost maybe a little in this pacing, but even this feels like even if they want to if they were trying to speed things up, this is like you need to. If they want to accelerate this much, they still need to still need to have plans to accelerate it to be at a quick pace beforehand to get this fast.
Yeah.
So partially it might have been the pandemic, but I still think mostly it was some of this pace was planned out ahead of time.
Yeah, I am curious what's going through the minds then.
Like I know I get the feeling like Precure is being speed up, but even then it's not as bad as this.
Yeah, so. And I don't know if we've gotten like an episode count for this reboot. Have we gotten like an episode count announcement of like how many episodes it's gonna be?
I don't think so far.
Yeah, not to my knowledge. I'm hoping enough episodes. Like if we, I don't know. Do you think this?
Oh, here it says. I think this is it. They're saying 66, so that's more than a year.
That's even more than the original had, right?
Yeah.
So, do you think it's better for the show to have like a longer episode count, or do you think it'll do better with a shorter episode count?
I think the shorter episode. Sometimes I think shorter is better. Often. Let's see. Yeah, this is. It looks like it's on the toy. I'm just looking at. It does look like it's going to be like 66 planned.
Okay. Oh my god.
And yet 66, and yet we're already getting him in the 10th episode.
Yeah, that seems odd. Like, well, I don't know. I'm hoping once we get like late, especially since it's gonna be 66, they're just gonna do some crazy stuff that's just gonna blow our mind. What's gonna go like crazy, out of this world direction than the original.
Mm-hmm.
So anything else you're hoping for next episode and the rest of the season in general?
Well, now that we know that they're gonna have 66 episodes, I hope that if they're going to do all this in such a introduce all this stuff, they also end up introducing a lot of new stuff, because with 66 episodes, they could go well beyond just the Dark Masters, even Apocalypse.
Yeah,
like they could do some insane stuff for this series if they have that many episodes to work with.
I just hope it just gets better and doesn't go back to the level it was, because I was fine proud of it, but next episode raises some concerns, and that scares me. I mean, it's kind of back to the problem of them just drawing stuff, but maybe they're trying to get through stuff so fast because they have a lot of like original ideas they want to draw in. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just feel like there's something in this reboot we're just not seeing. Some vision that they have that they can see, but we can't see yet. So
yeah, so hopefully it'll be something interesting.
Yeah, but anything else you want to add?
Nothing else for me.
Yeah, nothing else for me. I just want some good episodes, man. Like Ultimates already interesting. We'll see what you do, show. We shall see. But yeah, we are going to wrap this up. This has been Anime Aftershow, where we provide quality aftershows of your favorite anime. I have been your host, Nanohero. You can follow me at The Real Nanohero and at twitch.tv/Nanohero. Our other host for today's episode has featured Adam from Azen Zone. Check them out on Twitter at Adam Kiyosaki and at youtube.com/Azen Zone. And also check out our other host who couldn't quite make it, but he's still with us in spirit, InfiniteDrillWorks. Check them out on Twitter at InfiniteDrills. Anime Aftershow is created, owned, and planned by me, Nanohero. You can once again follow me at The Real Nanohero. Our intro and outro music is done by Xavier Salvador. Make sure you check out our other branded channels, including the Nano Gaming Cafe. More info is in the description. Make sure to follow us on social media at Anime Aftershow. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, like, and ring that bell. Also, check out the link below to listen to the audio version. If you are listening on something like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify, make sure to follow, subscribe, download, and leave us a rating. If you haven't already, find Anime Aftershows on YouTube.